Hello and welcome to Turntable Update number 12. This is the biggie. The biggie is a new turntable. It is a Clearaudio Concept MM. MM standing for moving magnet. Now I was going to put this off for a few months until I got to grips with what I actually thought of the turntable with regard to its actual performance and sound quality. But I thought I'll do a video straight away, a sort of overview of the product. Just a quickie and get that up there. The record washer video will be coming probably next week. So let's get started. Right, this is one of the turntables that I had my eye on, and I just happened to see it available on eBay being sold by an actual hi-fi retailer. Someone had apparently brought it in, only 4 weeks old, and they wanted to trade it in for a more market model. Now the hi-fi retailer I bought it from isn't a dealer in Clearaudio products, and they obviously just wanted to shift it. So they put it on eBay for $5.99, despite the fact its retail is normally $9.95, and that's pound sterling. In the United States it retails for $1,500. And it's the basic Clearaudio Concept model. It's their bottom of the range model. Slightly laughable that Clearaudio's bottom of the range turntable costs nearly £1,000 or $1,500, but that is the way it is, and it's kitted out with their basic moving magnet cartridge. You can also buy it in the MC version, where you get a basic moving coil cartridge, and that increases the price by £400. This was the model that, if we really pushed the boat out, I could stretch to £1,000 for a turntable, but seeing it for $600, I just jumped on it. Now the only drawback is, of course, it's second hand. There's no warranty with it. But I thought for a £400 price drop, I'll just go with it and take my chances. Now, also the product isn't absolutely mint. It's close, but not quite. There's a few marks on the platter, and a few other bit marks here and there, but nothing major. No major gashes or scratches or anything like that. And I say it's in full working order. It's near enough brand new. So a bit of luck there on my part. Right, as you can see, the player is a basic oblong shape. It's pretty much as small as they could get away with without actually having the turntable a peculiar shape. The platter is, as you can see, fairly thick. It's thicker than you get on the sort of cheaper turntables like the bottom of the range sort of Project and Riga turntables. And the actual plinth itself is thick as well. Now this is actually made, the black part here is actually MDF. It's just a thick chunky piece of MDF. There's an aluminium band that goes around the whole player. Gives it a smart modern appearance, and this is made of some kind of resin which apparently has the same density and resonance as vinyl. This turntable is not meant to be used with a mat. The record is supposed to be put directly onto here, and that actually helps with the resonance control. Well, it has a speed control button here, which if you can see, it actually has 33, 45 and 78. So the speed controller is actually built in. One of the things I saw with the cheaper Project and Riga turntables is you actually had to take the platter off to change the speed, change the belt, or buy an external aftermarket power supply box which changed the speed. But that's more expense. And I have a lot of records that run at 45, not 7 inches, but 12 inches, and EPs and albums that are especially running at 45. And having to take the platter off every time would get rather annoying. Right, the other thing of interest here is the arm. Let's turn it around. It's a fairly nice arm. You've got the head shell here, I say, with the moving magnet cartridge on there. A nice, rather smart arm. Everything's beautifully machined out of metal. Very, very nice, high quality item, but it has one special feature, one USP, something that makes this high-end, really unique, and that's the bearing here is actually magnetic. There's a magnet in here, or possibly in here, that actually holds this up. The arm itself is held by a piece of wire which goes down through here, down to the bottom. So that's holding it in place, and the magnet is actually pushing it up. If I can actually take that off and actually pull it down, you can actually see the magnet is holding it up. This arm literally is floating. It's just held at the bottom, and it feels like it's floating when you pull it off. It just literally just floats. It's quite quite an odd sort of feeling to it, and it is certainly the high-end feature that this turntable has. Clearaudio like using magnets to make things float on their products. And if I can turn it round. Now, if we have a look at the back of the player, the first thing you're going to notice is that the player has captive RCA leads. Decent quality thick cable, shielded cable, integral earth wire in there as well. Use professional Nutric plugs, the Reen RCA plugs there, so it's decent quality stuff. The plug themselves, they go literally directly into the wire, so there's a direct connection from the wire that comes out of the cartridge down the arm through the bottom here. Now, normally captive leads are one of the things I actually hate in hi-fi equipment, but with turntables it does make sense to just have a complete lead going through. Now I'd imagine there is some kind of join in there, you'd have to actually take it apart to find out, and then it goes down through these cables. But and this cable is far longer than I personally need. But even so, I can understand why it's done, and there are certainly pros for actually doing it that way. That falls on the floor. But the other thing this has on the back, which you can see here, is a little socket to plug the power supply in. Literally just plugs in there. And nice locking plug on that, very good. And with the thing here, you actually get a 12 volt DC power supply, just a typical little wall wart unit. Now this is actually made in Germany, and it has been designed by Clearaudio, sort of specified by Clearaudio to actually work with this turntable, so it isn't an off the market product from China or whatever. But it's even so, it's just a basic supply, but it gets you up and going. As I say, it's better than just a sort of real cheapo generic thing. And I say, just plug into there very nicely. It's never going to come out by accident. Now I'm going to flip the player over. I'm going to take the platter off. As you can see, the heavyweight platter, very simple. Does weigh a fair bit, and you can see the actual motor here, and it's sort of spinning around there. Now when you buy the thing initially, the belt and the platter aren't actually fitted, and you have to fit them, but it is literally just a question of putting that little tiny belt round here, lifting the platter on, putting it down. Rather unusually, the weight on the arm and the setup of the cartridge was already done. Everything was already pre-assembled, and I checked it using my instruments that I have, and it was spot on. That is very unusual with turntables to be that easy. It literally is plug and play. As I say, anybody can fit the belt and put the platter on, and frankly, if you're not capable of doing those two simple tasks, you really don't want to be dealing with vinyl anyway. Probably best if you just stick with MP3s or maybe CDs instead. But now I've taken that off, I can turn this upside down, and you can see the underneath. Now, first thing to note is the 3 feet. 3 little screw-on feet, literally just screw into the screw thread, standard size screw thread on the bottom, 6mm, I believe it is, and they tighten up. Now they've got a separate tightening nut that goes on there, so you can alter the height of the 3 feet. Now I think it's fantastic that it has 3 feet. All hi-fi equipment should come with 3 feet. 3 feet always sounds better than 4 feet. Pretty much as simple as that. And that it actually has 3 feet is very good indeed. Now they're not the best feet in the world, but they can easily be replaced, and so they use a standard size screw thread. The other thing of note is here. This is the anti-skate control. It literally is just a little knob you can twist either way to alter the anti-skate, and it actually has the wire that is holding that arm down with its magnetic bearing, and the wire actually comes into a little bar that's here, and you're literally just tightening the wire either way. Very simple, very effective design, very well done indeed. Having said that, altering the anti-skate is a real pain because it's underneath the turntable, so sort of pros and cons with that there. So all in all, very pleased with the turntable. It's a very nicely made piece of kit. It looks nice. Alright, my dream turntable would be a huge lump of wood, sort of polished with sort of Italian level of craftsmanship, but as a modern looking turntable, I think this is it's very nice looking, beautiful piece of kit. It's very well engineered, it feels high end, it looks high end, and I say the tactile quality of the turntable, just sort of touching things, you know, using the knobs and actually sort of lifting the arm and sort of bringing it across and all the rest of it, is an absolute joy. Much nicer than my old plastic Marantz turntable. And with turntables, it's important, you've got to be hands-on with a turntable, so it needs to be something that is actually pleasant to use, and this is very pleasant to use indeed. And as I say, I'm not going to do a review of the sound quality just yet. All I will say is that it is superior to my old Marantz 130 TT turntable in absolutely every single respect. There's nothing that's worse, and you'd expect it to be much better. It's about 5 times more expensive, and it's new, and the Marantz turntable is about 32 years old. But it is a big step up, and it really is an entry into the high end of turntables. Although I certainly don't intend to replace this turntable anytime soon. Right, so as far as upgrade path goes, there are 2 parts of this turntable which I personally consider to be weaknesses. And the first weakness is those little feet. Those little feet have to go as soon as possible. They're just basic little screw threads, basically with rubber stoppers on the bottom. And those rubber stoppers, while terribly practical, are damaging the sound, so they're going to have to go immediately. In fact, that'll be the next video involving this turntable, will be me replacing the feet. The other thing that needs to be replaced, you know, as soon as sort of funds allow, is this power supply. Now, while it is, you know, designed by Clearaudio, specified for them, and made in Germany, and it is a reasonable supply, it's nice and quiet, and it does its job, it isn't up to the quality of the rest of the turntable. Now, I've said this before in my videos, if you've got little wall wart power supplies like this, you really want to be looking at swapping them for high quality power supplies. And just to use a little soundbite to try and get this across very simply, I'm going to say the following. Right, hi-fi. This is a piece of hi-fi equipment. This isn't hi-fi. I don't think I can be any clearer than that. You know, this is not a hi-fi product. It is not high fidelity. The whole point of buying hi-fi equipment is to get high quality sound from the music. And any sort of weak link in the chain, and this really is a weak link, needs to be replaced with something of high quality. The only reason they include little wall wart supplies like that is simply to keep the cost down. There's no other reason for it. It works, it does the job, it makes it work, but it is not hi-fi. It needs to be replaced. So feet first, power supply second. Ultimately, at some point next year, I will replace the cartridge. You know, that cartridge retails on its own for £150. Not cheap, but the moving coil cartridge that can be spec'd with this turntable when you buy it retails on its own for £600. It's fairly obvious that Clearaudio believe this turntable can support high-end cartridges, and I will upgrade. Not necessarily up to the sort of high-end cartridges that I would really like to be using on it, but I will certainly try and replace that with an improved model. Other things that can be bought, of course, are things like clamps. Clearaudio make a range of clamps. And it might be worth trying some mats out. You're not supposed to use mats with this turntable, but I'll certainly try my mat that I already have on it. And I might try a few others just to see what happens. They can always be used on other turntables or resold if necessary. The other big weakness with this isn't really a weakness at all, it's just something that's completely and utterly missing. And that's a lid. There is no lid for this turntable. This turntable is constantly getting covered in dust. Now you can buy a great big acrylic perspex sheet of a lid that costs quite a lot of money, considering it's just literally a perspex box. Looks nice, you can see the turntable, it shows it off well. So that might get purchased at some point. At the moment I'm just putting a towel over the top of it. But even so, it's still getting covered in dust all the time, which is rather annoying. So that's something to look into. And then as far as sort of extreme future upgrades go, I might try some high-end isolation platforms underneath it, sort of high-end feet. And ultimately it could be rewired, literally rewired from here, all the way down through here, right through, round to here, and actually put in sort of bespoke high-end silver wiring or something like that to really sort of spec it up. But that'll be quite a big, awkward job to do, and it'll certainly be the very last job that I'll be planning. Right, well, so I hope you like seeing the new turntable. It's given you an idea of what it's like. Just a short video. and we'll get back on with a record cleaner in the next video, although me fitting new feet to this turntable will feature fairly soon. So that's it for turntable update number 12, and bye for now.